Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this exclusive pre-launch of the launch of what's about to happen next week on Thursday. Now, guys, I want to turn back the clock a little bit. I want to share with you sort of the evolution of what we actually go through. What do the seven-figure income earners look for when they're looking to take something vertical? When they look for what's happening in the marketplace, what's hot, what's not? What does the market tell us about what they want? Okay. Now, typically what happens when people get into our industry, their friend, their family member, somebody tells them they got the best business opportunity in the world, and they just believe them. Okay. We don't do that, guys. Okay. We don't gamble like that. We do what's called test marketing. We want for the market to tell us whether or not the business opportunity is hot or not. Okay. It's called test marketing. So it's kind of like putting your feelers out there before you spend any money at all. Okay. Before you actually start spending money on paid traffic and ads and everything else. It's called test marketing. Now, social media is very, very powerful because you can reach a gamut of people from all around the world, in every country, all around the world. And if you understand social media, you know how it works, then you know how to actually speak to the pain of your marketplace, whoever the market is. And this strategy works for anything, whether you're a realtor, mortgage broker, insurance, automotive, retail, network marketing, direct sales. It's actually not about what you think you're selling. It's about solving the pain of your buyer. That is the strategy on how you're going to generate leads for whatever business that you're in. Doesn't matter what you're marketing. Okay. So, you know, how this sort of evolved originally was that two of my students that, started from nothing, and they went through training, they went through Millionaire Mentoring, they became top recruiters, and they actually originally found this business. So they came to me knowing what I would be looking for: results. Okay. It's one thing when people call me and they say, Darren, I really want you to take a look at my business, right? Well, why should I take a look at your business? They came to me knowing what I do. So they said, hey, Darren, we found this company. We've been in for 3 weeks and we've already made $21,000. We want you to take a look at what we got going on. That gets my attention because that's what I do. Okay. So I rolled out a test market exactly like what I did right here. And what happened from the data in my launch event that I did, I wasn't even talking about me. I was talking about my students. I was talking about their success story and what they'd done in the first 3 weeks. Okay. Now, from their story, the launch event in 5 days produced $24,000 in profit. Okay. Not in, like a lot of people, when they talk about revenue that they're doing, they don't tell you how much money they're spending on paid ads. So somebody goes with their enticement campaign saying that they've done $75,000 or $100,000 in their back office. But what they don't tell you is that they spent $50,000 on paid traffic, or on an ad campaign, or on Google ads or Bing ads. They don't tell you that part. They only tell you this part that everybody sees in their back office. These results were done with no paid ads. These results were done only with social media, only with free strategies. And that's why it got my attention so fast. And I just did the same thing. So I took the story, right? I made a post. I did a launch event. I showcased my students. And in 5 days, I generated over 24,000. So I took my results story over to Ari and I said, bro, like I rolled out this test campaign and here's what happened. And he's like, whoa, what did you do? And I showed him my recording. And he said, he goes, you know what? I'm in. I'm gonna roll with this. And I said, what do you think you could do your first month? He said, you know what? I don't know. I think I'd probably do 60, 65,000. Okay. So as I'm rolling out my campaign, Ari's only about 5 days behind me rolling out his campaign. So by the end of the month, I do 108,000 and Ari does 128,800. Okay. Within a 35-day period of time, combined between us, we did $240,000. Now, typically, when I tell these stories, people always say the same thing. They always, guys, they always say this. Oh, but Darren, you've been in the industry. Oh, but Darren, you've you got a following. Okay. Oh, but Ari, everybody knows Ari. I said, okay, cool. No worries. So I took the formula that I had just used and I taught it to all the people. Okay. And here's what happened the very first month. I had a 17-year-old kid make $50,000 in 6 weeks. I had a construction worker make 26 grand his first month. I had a guy that had a little bit of marketing experience, but he'd never been able to get past 8,000. He made 45,000 his first month. We even had one guy that started with 100 friends on Facebook. He had just gotten out of prison. He was an ex-con. He made 28,500 his first month. Okay. Now, from those success stories, people came from all around the world, guys. Okay. And I'm talking about in areas that you wouldn't even think would be possible. One gentleman was making $160 a month working full-time with AT&T in Mexico. Okay. He was broke and destitute. So far, he's made $265,000. Zero experience in marketing, never marketed a day in his life. Okay. We had a single mother that was living on her credit cards, paying interest just to buy her groceries. And she has made in 2 years over 350 grand. Okay. Samuel, who I want to share his story for, before I take you a little bit behind the scenes and I talk to you a little bit about why this is hot and what the psychology is behind this. Samuel was working at the bread factory, making minimum wage. And he went through training for about his first 4 days. And in 3 weeks, he made 23 grand. And I want you to hear directly from Samuel. Samuel, maybe you can share your story.
Cool. Can everyone hear me? Yeah,
Yep.
yes. So raise your hand. Cool. So what a ride it's been. So let's go back to when I first started. I'm sure many of you are thinking he looks super young. I'm sure some of you are thinking, man, he could be my son. He could be my nephew. And you're right. I'm only 23 years old. But back when I first met Darren, I was 21. I was like a typical 21-year-old, young, dumb, had no life goals. I was just getting through life, trying to get by, learning my way. That was okay until one day. I want you to imagine this. Imagine you're in your house, you're comfortable, you're enjoying your life, and then out of nowhere, your mother, your loved one, knocks on your door, tells you to pack everything up, and you're just kind of in a daze. You're like, what's happening? Right? And I packed everything up. And then they tell you, get in the car. Right? So you pack everything in the car. I got in, and it was in that car ride, to this day, the hardest car ride of my life, and also the most transformational car ride of my life. I looked to my left and I heard crying, and I saw that my mother was crying, and behind her was my little sister crying with her. And it was at that moment my mother said, she opened her mouth and she said, we just lost our home. And at the time, I didn't have any money in the bank. So reality smacked me as I heard my mother wailing that I wasn't a man. I wanted to be a man. I didn't have the money to help my own mother off the street, to even feed my little sister that night. And I knew that I needed to make a choice to do better. I needed to do something I wasn't doing before so that this never happened again. So I remember I went inside the bathroom that day and I looked at myself in the mirror and I vowed to myself, I will never, ever let this happen to my family again. And that's when I tore down my pride, tore down my ego, and I got started working at the bread factory. Now, thinking back at that bread factory, had some good memories, had some bad memories, more bad than good. And now the reason for that is because at that bread factory, I was working 10 to 12 hours every single day. I was going through a lot of foot cramps and lower back pain, and I was just 21 years old. So I felt 21, but it was like I was in the body of a 70-year-old. I was even complaining like a 70-year-old. Oh, my lower back, right? And after that, I got to the point where enough was enough. You ever catch yourself, every so often you're relaxing and then you think to yourself, enough is enough. Why am I living this life? Why am I still living this life? Why am I still earning this amount of money that I earn? Why has it taken so long for me to reach my goal? Have you ever catch yourself saying that? I know I did. And when I caught myself saying that, I said, you know what? I'm going to go on Google. I grew up with the internet, so I knew how to use Google, and I'm going to actually use it to find out, how do I earn money online? How do I find a better way? And that's what I did. So at the time, it was 2019. So it was how to make money online 2019. And it was at that point. Now, this is actually, I always say God is good. You always see me wearing this hat or a shirt that says it, because it's a reminder that out of the thousands of people, of links I could have clicked, and there's a lot of them, I clicked onto Darren's. Now, who here can relate that you've at some point in your life, you've searched up on Google, you've, put the screen and you wrote down how to make money? Or raise your hand. I know I did on more than one occasion. And I found Darren's link. It was actually to his profile, and he was doing a webinar just like this. So I got into the webinar, and he talked about, the 7-figure formula, and these 17-year-olds making $50,000, a 15-year-old making $7,000, a single mother who was literally living off her credit cards. Like, it was bad. She was literally paying for groceries on the credit card because there wasn't enough money in the bank. And I was like, and then she ended up making $240,000 her first year. And I was like, what are they doing that I'm not? I'm only 21. What are they doing? There has to be a better way. And that's when Darren, he told me about this system that he had, with the 4 products and the $1,000 commissions. And I was young. I didn't have a lot of garbage in my head. I'm like, I'm willing to go all in. I'm willing to go to zero, right? When I heard a story like the one you're hearing now, and I heard the strategy that Darren's about to talk about, I knew this was it. So it took me 4 months. I saved up the money. I got started. I went all in. I drained my bank account. I'm young. I'm dumb. I drained my bank account to 42 cents. You probably shouldn't do that. You're probably thinking, Sam, you're crazy. And you're right. I was crazy. But I was crazy and I was hungry. I was crazy and I was hungry. Because I'd rather have been crazy and going for my dream than like a robot. Waking up, eating breakfast, drinking coffee, going to work, coming back, taking a shower, eating dinner, sleeping, repeat. I'd rather have been crazy than have been living that life I kept living. So I joined Darren in the program. Within my first week of learning everything he taught me, I made $4,000 my first week, $10,000 in 2 weeks, and $23,000 by the end of my third week. And this was coming from scratch from the bread factory. I didn't have a following. I didn't have an audience to sell to. I didn't have any experience. But what I did have is a dream. I had a dream, I had a mentor, and I had a strategy. I had something that was working, a system that was working for me. And I know Darren's going to mention this a lot. It could be because I just didn't ask questions. I just did it. He told me, look, it's really that easy. Just do it. And I just did it. And I was able to get that $23,000. And ever since then, I'm proud to say, I've never had to work. I'm just 23. I've never had to work another job again. I'm the highest income earner in my family household. And we're at the point now where we're having chats this year of, I'm going to buy my mom a house. I'm writing her a check to pay off her full debt in full. And I'm showing my mom a life that she's always dreamed of. And I'm able to do that because of the internet and because of what you're about to learn tonight.
Fantastic. Great, great story, Samuel.
It's been amazing.
Super proud of you, pal. Super proud of you. Okay, guys. So first of all, I want you to understand there's a couple of things that are sort of morphing this into what I call the perfect storm, okay? The first thing that I'm going to share with you is that there's only 2 types of people that bridge from corporate America into our business model. Two types. This will literally save you 5 years of frustration spinning your wheels, okay? They're either in a state of transition in their life, okay, a state of transition in their life, or they have reached a breaking point in their life, or a combination of transition and breaking point. And in the event when I do a broadcast like this and I open it up and you see all the squares, and I go, when you got into this industry, were you in transition or breaking point? And you will see it, transition, breaking point, both, transition, breaking point, both, all the way down the whole line, okay? Right now, because of other circumstances beyond our control, okay? Beyond our control, guys. It's not like somebody is in a situation and they hate their job, or they've gone bankrupt, or they have a health problem. Those things still exist. But we have 24 to 26 million people just in the US alone that are confined in their homes and they don't have any source of income, okay? But they have a lot of time on their hands. So this has to cater to the full spectrum. Now, what do I mean by that? You have to have something on the low end that everybody can afford, and then you have to have something that's going to cater to somebody that has, a higher self-worth, that wants to do less sales but be able to make bigger money. Okay, so the spectrum goes from 100 to 1,000. Okay, so there's 100, 250, 500, and 1,000. Okay, now a lot of people don't have tech skills. Okay, so in other words, like for online marketing, if you want automation, you need to have an autoresponder. Okay, that's going to send out automated emails. You need something that's going to collect the email, like a ClickFunnels software. And all these softwares cost money, guys, just so you know, monthly. Okay. You also need to be able to, have some sort of, like personal development where you're not scared of your own shadow. Like if you're ever going to go big, okay, and I'm just being honest, right? This is really, truly just giving it to you straight, okay? Now, what attracted me to this particular program is that at their $100 level, there's enough marketing information where people can actually learn new skills at a little tiny bit of money. But the company's website is set up so that they provide you with pre-made lead capture pages and pre-written autoresponder letters. So even without having any tech skills, if you can just, be good at rapport, right? Rapport, finding things in common with people, and, getting to a connection with somebody and being good at asking questions is to find out what's going on in their life and pique their curiosity and get them over to the link. The moment that they opt in with an email, they're watching a presentation, but the company system is now going to send out those emails for you without having to have any type of tech skills, okay? Now, I can tell you this, guys. When I first started, I had zero tech skills, okay? I went through 90 days of anxiety, vertigo, sleepless nights, cold sweats, because I'd never used a computer before. And if you've never used a computer before, I didn't take typing in school. I still type like this. So when you look at that keyboard and there's all these different diagrams and all these different little symbols, it put my system into complete, utter shock. Okay, I finally had to go see a homeopath, a naturopath, and a traditional Chinese medicine lady to be able to get regrounded, to get past that 90 days, to get to the other side. That's where I started online. A lot of people don't know this, but that's how little tech skills that I actually had when I got started, okay? So Christopher says he was afraid of lives. So what I want to do is this, because I believe that results speak louder than words, guys. Okay, results. You heard Samuel's story, but I want to show you the phase 1 that we've done. This is with no paid ads. Okay, this is 0 paid ads. This is just from what we teach. This is just from what we teach. Okay, there is $325,850. Okay, $325,850. Now, what's cool about this is that the system, you know, they everybody that gets their program, they automatically have pre-coded, you know, direct to testimonials, direct to a website, direct to a replicated website link, and direct to a replicated join link. So that's typically, you know, for people that are old school, okay, old school marketers. Those are just relationship builders where, you know, they find out somebody's they're struggling right now, they're maxed out credit cards, whatever's going on in their life, plus Corona, and they just pique somebody's curiosity. It's not a convincing model, guys, just so you know, and this is why the failure rate is so high. It's a problem-solving business model, and people don't get properly taught, and it's the reason that the failure rate in our whole industry is at 97%, industry-wide. You can look all the data up online, and there's only 0.1% of the entire marketplace that makes more than $400 a month. Why is that? Because they're trying to take corporate America and jam it into a relationship building model, and they do not work. Hype doesn't work in our industry. Get in now, lock your spot doesn't work in our industry. What works in our industry is a problem-solving business model, and that has to actually do with your prospect, not your business, okay? So it's the opposite side of the magnet, and this is why the failure rate is so high. So we have direct things that go where people don't have to set up anything. It's set up. Okay, there's your website, there's testimonials, there's your website link, and there's your join link. So if somebody was to say, you know, this sounds great, right? I want to get started, they don't have to do anything but other than go directly to a sign up link. It's direct to it, okay? Now, the way that this program works, guys, is that you're basically purchasing the reseller rights to the product. That means that you're now going to become the vendor of the product. Okay, so here's the different levels. There's a $100 product, so you pay $40 for the reseller rights. There's a $250 product, you pay $100 for the reseller rights. There's a $500 product, you pay $175 for the reseller rights. And there's a $1,000 product that you pay $299 for the reseller rights, okay? Now, those are yearly reseller rights fees, okay? And then you purchase the actual product itself, okay? So this makes it a very easy entry for the masses, and somebody can get in here, earn a little bit of money, upgrade, earn a little bit of money, upgrade, earn a little money, and upgrade, okay? The goal, obviously, like the majority of the people that I teach and train, including Samuel, including the, you know, people that were flatline homeless, they actually, I taught them about how to step into their personal power and to stop playing the victim. Okay, people will not invest in a victim, guys, just so you know. Okay, I used to raise venture capital. I've raised tens of millions of dollars in venture capital for public companies and private companies and my own companies. And I will tell you this, people invest in vision. People invest in vision and they invest in personal power. They will not invest in a victim. Once they change their polarity, once they change their drive and their vision and their dream, it changes your DNA in your body completely. So even the one guy that was alcoholic, drug addict, homeless, living on the couch of a friend's house, once he shifted his power and stepped into his personal power and stopped playing the victim, even with all the people that he had burnt, even with his best friends that he had burnt, even with his family members that he had burnt, even he was able to come up with the money, okay? So this is truly where the fastest track is. Most people, even 30 years ago, they always say that their first step to freedom is 10 grand a month, okay? 10 grand a month is only 10 sales a month, okay? And this is why the road from 0 to 240 grand for me and Ari was not that difficult. Okay, it was not that difficult to do, but it's easier to do in groups like this than it is by one by one by one by one by one. And the difference really is stepping into leadership. That's the difference. That's the difference in your income bracket level. And it's no different being a CEO. Okay, I've been a CEO of a public company before, and I can tell you that the difference is really to do with personal power. And that's why I tell people you're really in a personal development industry, whether it's network marketing, direct sales, or MLM, you're in a personal development industry. And the goal is to get to the stage, right? In essence, this is the stage right here, except it's technical. It's a technical stage. It's not a stage where you're in a hotel room like old school, but it's the same thing. It's the same concept. Okay, so these are the different levels, okay? Now, what I want to do right now is I want to focus really on, for you to understand the power of this particular comp plan and why I'm so excited about this, okay? Why I'm so excited about this. So they call this the You First Hybrid Compensation Plan, okay? A You First Hybrid Compensation Plan. And the power of this compensation plan is that it's called, for me anyway, I call it the Infinity Pass Up Plan. And I'll tell you why. The 3 lower level products, right? You would think that right now with Corona going on, that would be, the entry point that mass market could afford. So I always like to go to the very bottom, right? The very bottom feeder on, what's the worst possible case scenario, okay? Anybody can come up with, like say $150. So you got your reseller rights, your admin fee, and your product, okay? It's $100. The first sale that is made is what's called a pass up. It's a qualifying sale, and it gives the leaders the incentive to make sure that their people are going to get trained. And this is why I love this program. So instead of saying, hey, welcome aboard, see you at the top, right? That doesn't do anything for anybody, okay? All you're doing is a revolving door, and it's a churn 'em and burn 'em, take the money and run. And I'm so against that. I've done Facebook Lives and seminars against that whole concept and showcasing and putting the light on people that are, I call them money grabbers, because they never train their people. They do the transaction, they take the money, and they're gone, okay? And they leave you like dust on the side of the road, and they literally become part of the witness protection program, and you can never find your freaking sponsor, okay? So here's how this works. Let's say that you bring somebody in at the $100 product level. Their first sale is going to pass up to you. That encourages you to get them trained, because not only do you get their first sale or the sale from the actual product, but you're going to get their first sale too. And guys, you're also going to have the sponsorship passed up to you too. Now, what happens when the sponsorship passes up to you? That means the person that just got passed up to you, their first sale goes to you, which passes up, and the sponsorship, and their first sale, and their first sale, and their first sale, and it goes to infinity. That means from bringing one person in and qualifying, the next person could literally take you to your dream just by helping the people. And it goes right through to infinity. Now, in the event that a person starts at $100, some people say, well, Darren, I don't want just $100 pass up. Like, what good is that? Once the person qualifies and they start making a little bit of money at $100 and they move to the $250 product, their first sale has to pass up too. They don't pass up the sponsorship. They just pass up the sale, the first sale. If they move to 500, the first sale passes up to you as well. Now, Here's where it gets exciting, and here's where it creates what's called sense of urgency and fear of loss. If somebody comes in directly at the $1,000 product, which I have in green, they qualify for every single one of those lower products. They still have to do one product sale, which is going to be a pass up, but they don't have to take the slow road all the way up and pass up all of these commissions to get to the top. So if you start at the $100 product, you have to actually qualify as you're going up. But the higher products qualify for the lower products, okay? The higher products qualify for the lower products. So what does that mean? That means if I came in at the $1,000 product, I qualify for all lower levels. If I came in at the $500 level, I would qualify for $250 and $100. If I came in at $250, I would also qualify for the $100. But if I come in at only $100, I just qualify at that level, okay? So the higher product levels qualify for the lower product levels. So here it is in a little bit of a visual, okay? So there is whoever you're purchasing the product from. So you buy the product, you make your first sale, it passes up to your sponsor, which is going to qualify you, and your second sale onward goes to you, okay, on that particular level. So let's take an expanded view of this, guys, okay? Let's take an expanded view of this. So let's say that you sell a product, okay? Now you want to train that person because you're going to get paid from that, okay? But now you bring in somebody else. Their second sale goes up to you too. Okay, now keep in mind, that sale came from your first guy or your first gal. So now it just keeps on going forever. And when you've got this with this infinity, like, holy crap, guys. I mean, this is why we were able to make $240,000 in only 35 days, right? Now, keep in mind, was there, group sessions like this? Absolutely, there was. Did we gather groups of people together? Absolutely, we did. Did we do a Super Sunday training where we gathered all the groups of people together and we provided them with value and we showed them about branding and content and what we do to recruit people? Absolutely. Because the more that you teach those people, their first sales are all coming to you. So it encourages the whole process of team building and training. And that is what our industry is supposed to be about. At some point in time along the line, right, probably the last 4 to 5 years, I don't know what happened, because a lot of people that I used to see on stage that I used to have a huge amount of respect for, something flipped and they no longer cared about the people. When I got into this industry, guys, and I was trained by my millionaire mentors, they were very stern on this one concept that, Darren, it's not about your paycheck. It's not about your paycheck. It's about how many people on your team can you rise to freedom. That is the industry that we're in. Okay, that is the industry that we're in. So let's go back here and take a look back here in the Exodus system. So basically what's happening, guys, is that from this test data that we have, okay, from the test data, now we're moving into phase 2. Okay, so phase 1 in anything that I do is testing. Test the data, get the results, and use the results, okay? Then rise the people and get the stories like Samuel, right? Like Josh Cousins, right? Josh Cousins learned the formula that we teach, and he made $250,000 in 18 months, and now he's at $500,000. He just cleared $500,000. Just maybe mute up the line there. Somebody's coming in. you just came on the line there, can you just mute out? Okay, there we go. Okay, so just so you understand sort of I'm sharing with you the 7-figure marketing strategy here, guys, okay? So phase one in anything is you've got to do test marketing, okay? Test marketing has to do with storytelling, copywriting, and to write a story. Now, obviously, keep in mind, if you're going to use social media, you have to have an audience there. And if you don't have an audience, we teach you where to go get an audience, okay? Just for free, no paid ads. We just teach you where to go get the qualified buyers, okay? There's 2 billion people on Facebook. There's no shortage of people. But the one thing that you're going to have to master is to stop pitching and convincing people, because it's not how our business model is even done. We're in a problem-solving business model, and you're not going to, every single person, if I pulled up this whole, group, okay, every person, just hold on a sec, let me unpin that. Every single person on this particular broadcast is going to have different things going on in their life. Some of you may be married. Some of you may be divorced. Some of you may be, in a custody battle. Some of you may be single. Some of you may have parents that just passed away. Some of you may have health challenges. Every single person is going to be in a different reality right now, okay? And you can't try to convince somebody that you have what they need. You have to find out about your prospect and what's going on in their life. And in order to make sales, truthfully, it has nothing to do with what you think you're selling. And whether or not you're in weight loss, skincare, nutraceuticals, energy drinks, legal, credit repair, it has nothing, guys, zero to do with what you think you're selling, okay? The products have to work, okay? Rule number one, the products have to work. Rule number two, the products have to be competitively priced or fair market value compared to other products in the marketplace. And number three, the compensation plan has to be fair, okay? Once you know that those three things are true, you have to move them out of the way and realize that is not how you make big money, and it's certainly not how you get to 7 figures. The way that you get to 7 figures, guys, is through a blueprint. A blueprint. You can have the best products, you can have the best weight loss products in the world, the best energy drinks, the best antioxidants, the best, nutraceutical line, the anti-aging, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The question you have to ask yourself is one thing: do your products work? Are they competitively priced, and is your compensation plan fair? Once those three things are true, people want to know, how do you make money with it? How do you make money with it? Okay. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. So the sort of gateway really truly is something called a VSL. Okay, a VSL. It's called a video sales letter. Okay, now the video sales letter, it has to be a high energy, and it has to be able to paint the picture enough to get people to want to take action without you having to do any of this at all, okay? So that means if you have a qualified buyer and they're interested and you send them to the link, that thing, whatever it is, should do the selling for you. It should do the selling for you. And that's what we have coming out right now, okay? It's 8.5 minutes. It should be out tomorrow or the next day. But from the compression, so nobody even knows about this yet, guys. You guys are the very first people that are even finding out about this, okay? So I call this kind of the insiders, okay? This is an insider meeting, okay? This is right here. You guys are the insiders. Now, in the event that from the test data that you go, whoa, this looks hot. Now, keep in mind, there's interviews with 7 and 8 figure income earners, and there's also, TikTok training and Snapchat training and Instagram, and there's all sorts of training on marketing. And truly, that's actually what every single person in every one of the verticals actually needs to learn. They need to learn how to do two things: generate leads. Okay, for any entrepreneurial business, guys, if you don't have these two things, your business will go bankrupt, just so you know. Okay, the first thing that you have to do is have a steady stream of qualified buyers. Even if it's a restaurant, nightclub, lounge, retail outlet, you have to have a steady stream of buyers coming into your location or into your business, and you have to have cash flow. If you take those two things away from a business, the business will go under. Okay, the business will go under. Okay, so here's the thing that people don't get, okay, that are in our industry. What people want is they want to learn how to build a business without having to go harass their friends and family. They want to learn how to build a business without getting rejected. They want to know how to generate leads, but even if you gave them the leads, they wouldn't know what to do with them if they don't understand the business model. So how do you close the leads? And then how do you actually get team duplication? That is our business model. And when you get the information direct, when somebody is handing you the 7-figure formula, that's when the stories go vertical. That's when it happens so fast. So I know there's a bunch of people that just popped on here. I just want to see if I've got a couple familiar faces here. Okay, so I want to hear actually from a couple of people here, because I know, and I don't know if he's paying attention because he looks like he's looking at the ceiling, but Mark Presswood has just taken some of the strategies that he's learned, and he just closed a massive real estate deal using, OPM, other people's money, and investors and whatnot. But once you understand these concepts, guys, when you're in a zone where you're working with 7 and 8 figure income earners, this isn't just about, like direct sales or marketing or whatever. Like, Angeline was working in a sales job and she ended up closing a $17,000 deal. What does that have to do with whatever it is that we're talking about here tonight? It doesn't. This is my point, right? So once you get these concepts, they expand into other zones of your reality. So Mark Presswood, maybe just chime in here. Congratulations, by the way. He just posted this yesterday or today that he just closed a major deal. But just share a little bit about, how these concepts and ideas have been able to transfer into your mainstream life and business.
Thank you, Darren. Much appreciated for the opportunity to speak to the crowd. Again, I think the 7-figure formula is definitely powerful. We're in the Friends for Life business and problem-solving industry, so we're just helping people just get solutions. In this particular case, it's a close family. It's a teacher that actually taught my son, and they called for a birthday wish. So it all rolled out from giving me a birthday. They all sung a happy birthday last Friday to me, so that just like cheered me up like crazy. And they went around and basically had individual little greeting that they wanted to give me. And it got to the point that the conversation got stuck with the school teacher, and she was saying that she was having some trouble with a refi, and I just actually went through a refi, and I said, hey, would you mind, if I pass my lender off to you? And that conversation continued, and I said, hey, let's talk about this, another time, because you guys are busy, I'm busy, everything's going. So we made another connection the following day, and it I had set an intent to bring and solve a problem for her and put a solution out on paper really quick. Made a blueprint. I shared it with the group, a very clear, detailed version of the blueprint, what I did. And my goal was to actually get her some tax-free money in the way of like promissory note and stuff. So we crafted up a way to use SBA funding that they're working with the coronavirus at this period of time, and set up a small business, use that SBA funding, which is OPM, and she would back in with a portion of equity. So she would attach to the property, a little leverage, but she was willing to do that to get that cash flow. And basically it's cash flow in perpetuity for the rest of her life and the rest of her kids' life, to the tune of like $3,000 to start. After that, she has to do a refi. She's on an adjustable rate mortgage right now that I feel is going to go down, because of the way the interest rates are going. But I said, let's hold up on that. Let's go a couple years with this. And I think I'm going to bring to her about $1.2 million.
Fantastic. Well, good job, brother. Good job. Proud of you, man. Proud of you. Here's another really great story, guys. Like, a lot of people don't really understand or grasp this whole concept, because, we're not talking about just, like some direct sale MLM thing here. When you are in the zone and you're hanging out with people that have done 7 figures, multiple 7 figures, and 8 figures. My business partner last year did 8 figures, okay? So when you're in the zone with these people, there's something called energy transference that takes place that has an effect on your being, okay? And here's another great story, okay? This was after about 6 months, and Lucien Godfrey here, I don't know if he's, I can see his name here, but I don't know if he's actually, I didn't see his picture, but he's actually now created his own business opportunity, right? And there was actually 4 people that were in our group that all partnered up together that actually ended up forming their own business opportunity. They're now the owners of a business opportunity. Lucien, are you there? Lucien? Okay, I guess I see his name there, but I guess he's not there. Okay, I want to flip over to Angeline. Angeline, always consistently showing up. Angeline, tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So actually talking about Lucien, they formed a company, which I'm very proud of. So last year, I was going through some changes, and I was working in corporate America, and I needed to work on my mindset. That was really something that I really, really needed to work on. And so my brother from another mother, Astone Davids, brought me into Millionaire Mentoring. I'm very, very grateful for that, for many reasons. The community, there's a lot of support here in the community, but most of all, I worked on my mindset. That was really huge for me. And also because I was working in corporate America, I was out on the road all the time. I was selling advertising for senior centers and churches throughout New York State and Massachusetts. So I learned the strategies. I always plugged into the trainings. I didn't make any excuses. I showed up. I showed up for trainings. I showed up for Millionaire Mentoring. And the strategies that I learned from Darren helped me to close an $18,000 sale with the largest healthcare company in New York, United Healthcare. So thank you very much. Yes, very, very proud of that. And because I was able to solve their pain points, I was able to discover what their needs are. In other words, they wanted not to just advertise locally, but all over New York. So we came up with a plan, a marketing plan, and the budget, and I closed it. So in November, there was corporate downsizing. So with my territory they decided, not to, they felt that my territory, despite having that huge sale, was not profitable. So I decided to leave. So I fired my boss. So on November 11th, I got a phone call. And then I just decided, you know what? Instead of building someone else's dream, I'm going to build my own dreams. So I left at the end of November and I put everything in order. I delved back into the trainings again. And I'm very grateful that I closed my first $1,000 sale online last month in March.
Fantastic.
It was one of my biggest breakthroughs that I had, and I also took Darren's intensive training in November too, which was really, really great. There was a lot of aha moments and breakthroughs that I experienced. So I'm really, really excited. And I've had people reaching out to me now because they want help. And, just enjoy having conversations with people, have those conversations, keep them light, and you'll see lots of breakthroughs. So just stay plugged in. That's my message for all of you. Just stay plugged in and don't give up.
Fantastic. Great job, Angeline. Awesome. Okay, guys, so here's what's happening. So right now, this is what's called the insiders. You guys are basically the first people to even find out about what we're even going to do, okay? So we're at Sunday. Thursday night, we're doing what's called a launch event, okay? The people that want to actually do this and want to be on this path into momentum, so you've got, it's called compression, guys, and it's the most important thing if you ever want to get an MLM, a network marketing, direct sales, any type of online business that has to do with team building into a momentum state to break inertia, okay? So this is Sunday and this is Thursday. In between, you have compression that goes like this, okay? It's kind of like the Flash when he goes, right? It's exactly the same. So you've got compressed energy that comes like this all together. Now, when I was with one network marketing company, this is back probably about 20 years ago, and people flew in from all around the world. It was in Dallas, Texas. And we sat in this room, okay? And it was like this is the virtual version. Like right now you can see that there's like 38 people, okay? And there was roughly about the same. And we had like one of these massive executive suites with a big boardroom table. And there was like roughly around 38 people. And the guy who was my mentor, right? He was my millionaire mentor at that time. He had everybody all line up. Okay, we all lined up. And we took a picture, okay, of 38 people, guys. And I get goosebumps now. Look at my arm right now. Look at that. It's crazy. As I'm telling you this story. And we sat there and he took this picture and he said, everybody gather around. Everybody gather around. Okay. So we all huddled around. And he said, I want you guys to mark your calendar and I want everybody to look at this picture, because this picture is going to be responsible for hundreds of thousands of people all the way around the world, okay? Now, he's now the top income earner of that company. He has about 300,000 people in his business, and he makes about $160,000 a month in residual income. And it all started from that room that I was in with that group of 38 people. It all started there, guys. And he told us about what was going to happen prior to it happening. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I want for everybody to just smile. Okay, just smile, big smile. If you don't have a camera, you better turn it on right now, or we're going to be looking at Robert and we're going to be looking at Alfredo with the big black box there, and we're going to be looking at somebody in the dark, right? So turn on your, Robert, turn on your camera. Dwayne, turn on your camera, please. or turn your lights on or something. We got Robert. Robert's going to be the only one. Robert's going to be the only one that's going to be, Robert's upside down. Okay, turn your camera over there, brother. Turn your camera over, bro. Okay, we're going to have to take a picture of Robert upside down, no problem. Okay, we okay with that? Okay, so everybody smile. Okay, so I got to just grab this so that we have this documented. Okay. Now, I want for you guys to really get what I'm talking about here on tonight's broadcast, okay? You're the first people to find out about what we're going to roll out right now, okay? The stuff's not even finished yet. The slide that I showed you is a PowerPoint that I haven't even finished, okay? That's how new we're talking about. The video sales letter is not done. It's supposed to be done on Monday or Tuesday, but the launch event is definitely going to happen. It's going to happen on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. What that does is it creates compression like this, okay? Now, I can tell you from every other program that I've ever done, and I've been at this for over 3 decades, okay? The people that just take action and go with the momentum on Thursday night, you get a pay raise, literally. All you have to do is just have people show up. I will be doing the presentation. The owner of the company will be there. We will have top income earners and people that have had these stories that have never marketed a day in their life. You know, the 20-year-old kid that's now at $500,000, he's in the UK, so he's going to be up till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but he said he was going to make the broadcast, okay? And, you know, Paul Stevenson, who owns this company, is a huge inspiration. He's a serial entrepreneur, guys, and he's a pro. He's a total pro. He owns a restaurant, a nightclub. You know, he's a serial entrepreneur. He does multiple different types of ventures, and he's very highly successful. He created something that was not only going to hit mass market, but he catered the comp plan in such a way that it was going to be great for people that are in hardship, but it was going to be also great for people that want to step into leadership, that want to go to 7 figures and multiple 7 figures by helping the people. And that to me means one word, guys: integrity. Because that's what a lot of these companies are lacking, is integrity, okay? They do the churn and burn, the high ticket, we'll close the people for you. They jam the people through there. They get people to take out business loans and second mortgages against their house. And me personally, when I saw that stuff happening with some previous companies, I personally paid $3,000 out of my own pocket to run a campaign to warn the people that they were going to get fleeced, okay? That's how much this industry means to me, because it's a phenomenal industry. It's an industry of personal development, it's an industry of leadership, and it's an industry of transforming other people's lives. And I'm in it for the stories like Samuel. Samuel was working at the bread factory making minimum wage, and now he's a full-time entrepreneur, and now he's working on helping his mom pay off her debt. And you know, he's never had to go since the day that him and I started working together. He's never had to have a full-time job ever again. He's a full-time entrepreneur. He's 23 years old, guys. Josh Cousins is 20 years old at $500,000. And he's now transforming people's lives. So the concept is real simple, okay? Number one, are you coachable? Are you coachable? Okay. Number two, are you prepared to surrender your pride, surrender your ego, and just follow the bouncing ball like a paint by numbers set? Seriously, guys, that's really how simple that the process is. But you gotta be coachable, okay? So I'm telling you that right now, from today until Thursday, we have a window, okay? Now, all you've got to do is take action, pick whatever product level that you want. The higher levels include all of the lower levels, okay? In the event that you say, Darren, I'm flatline, and you start off with the 100 and, you know, the reseller rights, the $100 and the admin fees, I think it's like 146 total, okay? But you get yourself into action. You get yourself into action and you just show up, okay? Because from where we're here now, we have a little window, okay? Now keep in mind, you don't have to do any presentation. All you got to do is just have people show up. You got social media, there's training in the background that can give you all these different strategies. You get added to a Facebook group. There's tons of energy, tons of leadership, tons of momentum. But if you're truly a person that is sick and tired of being sick and tired of working endless hours and never really being able to get ahead, to constantly be on this, you know, gerbil in the cage thing, I'm telling you, we can help you. Okay, and I'm saying that genuinely from my heart, because that is why I'm in this industry, guys, is for the life transformations to take people to the next level, to 7 figures and higher. Okay, and there's very few people that are really truly in it for the people. And myself and my business partner, we go to the end of the earth for the people, guys. Okay, so you showed up here for a reason, and all I can tell you is this: trust the process. Okay, throw your hat over the wall. Okay, there's people, a couple other people that invited guests onto here. So reach back out to the person that got you here and say, whoever you are, let's do this. I'm ready to go to 7 figures and higher. And guys, let's go get it. Thanks a lot for joining us on this exclusive and private VIP broadcast, guys. I am fired up. Thursday is going to be an explosion. Get ready, buckle up, and get ready for the ride of your life. Thanks a lot for joining me, and have a great night.